What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated Mexican superstar title contender, Vergil Ortiz Jr. 22 wins, no losses, no draws, 21 wins by way of knockout, 26 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach, has responded to last night's performance by whom I refer to as the Phenom, Jaron Ennis, who is the undefeated IBF welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who took on in a rematch Jaron last night, and Jaron Ennis won a unanimous decision. But Jaron Ennis didn't look spectacular. He didn't look like the Phenom, as I refer to him as. He looked very vulnerable. And this is the second fight against Jaron that he looked somewhat vulnerable, right? In the first fight, they fought January of 2023, and Jaron Ennis couldn't or didn't cut the ring off, and Jaron did a lot of moving, and Jaron Ennis didn't have the best performance. Right? And he promised that he'll cut the ring off this time and he'll look more spectacular. And last night he had the opportunity to do so in his hometown of Philadelphia, at the Wells Fargo Center. And he fought Jaron again in a rematch. Jaron, since that fight, has had 3 wins, 2 knockouts and 1 unanimous decision since that fight. Right? And Jaron Ennis, last night, Jaron did the polar opposite of what he did the first time. He stood in the pocket the entire night. Now, he did a lot of excessive holding in this fight, but that's a veteran move. When you get hurt, you're supposed to hold. And he did a lot of clinching to frustrate Jaron Ennis, and he did frustrate him. And Jaron Ennis' defense, he got clipped with a lot of punches, hooks, left hooks, straight right hands, jabs, way more than expected from a guy with the talent of Jaron Ennis, who is now 33 wins, no loss, no draw, 29 wins by way of knockout, 27 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach, right? You expect somebody with that athletic ability, that size, that slickness, that twitchiness to be more defensively responsible. And he wasn't. And many people looked at that fight and feel like he got exposed and he's not ready for the upper echelon in the welterweight or the junior middleweight. Now, in the welterweight division, the champions Mario Barrios, the WBC champion, the WBA champions Amanda Stanionis, and the WBO champion is Brian Norman Jr. So I think the guy that presents the most problems for him is Brian Norman Jr. out of those fighters. But he would be the favorite in those fights, right? But Brian Norman has a lot more power than Jaron, and Brian Norman is way more athletic and way more twitchy. But Jaron Ennis, he stated that this was because of the level of competition. He's just not up for the fights, and so, you know, he loses concentration, essentially, right? And so with that said, there's now talks of him fighting Vergil Ortiz in February, right? February 22nd. And this is a fight when Vergil Ortiz was at 147 pounds. Everybody talked about this. Now Vergil Ortiz has moved up to 54. Last night, Jaron Ennis essentially said he'll feel more comfortable. He'll feel more energetic. He'll have more power. He'll be way better at 154. As I told you, he's a big 47. And in his last fight against David Avanesian, he didn't look like he had a good weight cut. His eyes were sunken in the press conference. And I said this, he looks weight drained, right? And so he said that he'll be much better. So now he's planning to move up to 154 pounds, where Vergil Ortiz is. Vergil Ortiz had the same issues. He just didn't become a welterweight champion. He had the issue where it looked like his career could be over, right? Trying to make 147. Fainting and going to the hospital and so on and so forth. Now, there was a lot of talks that Vergil Ortiz and his team, what I was told, that Vergil Ortiz and his team have been turning down offers from Jaron Ennis at least 2 times at welterweight, and as a recent, right? And now after that performance last night, Vergil Ortiz Sr., he responded and said, he responded to Boogy, Ennis, father, trainer, and manager of Boots. And he said, who gave you this information that we turned down the fight? Let me know so I can get rid of them, because they don't mean Vergil no good, right? So he's telling them, whoever told you and informed you that we turned down an opportunity to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, that ain't true. And whoever did that, please give us the name and information so we can handle that accordingly, right? Letting them know we want this fight. And we know Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn and DAZN, with His Excellency Prince Turki Al-Sheikh, are willing to put up big money for a Vergil Ortiz Jaron Boots Ennis fight. And now it looks like Vergil Ortiz and his team, they don't see a boogeyman. They see a chink in the armor. They see an opportunity, and they like, hey, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, right? So they're like, listen, we not ducking and dodging nobody, right? We want this fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, right? And again, Turki Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, is willing to put on the fight. And in February 22nd, they made an agreement to have, they want to have a 5-on-5 that will feature Shakur versus William Zepeda, Devin Haney versus Oscar Duarte, Jaime Munguia versus Pacheco, Jack Catterall versus